Hello, today I'm revisiting a cemetery that is a pretty old one. I cataloged the whole thing for Find a Grave last year. It's a smaller family cemetery, but this is the Wiswell Cemetery, and it always reminded me sort of a cathedral because it's entirely surrounded by tall trees, so most cemeteries have a wide open sky around them. This one is blocked off from the sky a little bit, but it's a very cool old cemetery. And again, it's a Wiswell family, but there are other folks buried here as well. Um, Looks like most of these burials are from the later 1800s or early 1900s. You have some there. Webster Perkins, his wife Nellie Harriman Perkins, they passed away in the early 1900s. Webster there passed away in 1910. His wife in 1940. So I added quite a few of these to Find a Grave last year. You have Ruth Elwell, died 1864. So this cemetery dates back to right around the time of the Civil War. The Treat family actually founded Frankfort, this town. Quite a few Treats buried around here. Here's one of them. Mr. Treat here would have been born about 1810. He died in 1891 at 81 years. So some of these stones are almost non-existent now, you can see. And had to get kind of creative to try to make some family connections when I was documenting this one. Clarissa, wife of Reverend John Hall, died 1829. So it actually goes back before the Civil War now that I look at some of these dates. Henry Snow, drowned. They had no qualms about calling out cause of death back then. He drowned May 2nd, 1841, 16-year-old teenager. You see a lot of American flags through here, a lot of Civil War veterans. John Kenny died December 15th, 1851. Robert Kenny died November 13, 1862. You can see their footstone back there against the tree. So the headstone would have been standing right about here back in the day, and they're buried right here. Walk down this path a little bit. Sometimes in these old cemeteries, you'll see the family plots kind of cordoned off a little bit. Usually the fences are in about this state of repair, or disrepair rather, kind of falling down, but they would have been proud, tall fences back in the day. Getting a little bit of nostalgia from when I cataloged this last year. I haven't been here in just about a year. So you have the Woodman family inside of this fence. Looks like Mr. Josiah Woodman was married several times. There's his wife Sarah, his other wife Clorinda, and there's Josiah himself. Famous child's graves. Child's graves are famous, I should say, for having the lambs on them. Anytime you see a lamb, it's most likely a young child was buried there. This was Edith, daughter of Lyman and Eldora Curtis. Another big name in these parts is Curtis. She died December 10 of 1880, 12 years, 4 months, 28 days. Some of these old stones have long begun to sunk into the ground. They'd fall over and just kind of like become part of the ground itself in a way, completely surrounded and flat by all the snow that falls in the wintertime here in Maine. And I like this cemetery because you have the paths that go all around it. It's actually somewhat in the woods at the top of a hill, just a little side road. Some more fallen stones. James Henry, son of James and Anne M. Page, died 1910, it looks like. 68 years, 11 months. Yeah, all of these are sort of just sunken into the ground. In a way, I think it kind of protects the old stones. And there's Anne and James, the parents of the first James we looked at a minute ago. Harold R. Lowe, 1893 to 1921, passed away pretty young, and his wife Gladys, looks like 1918 to 1922, so about 4 years old. Some of these, I recall seeing this last year, just the footstones are left. The headstone would have long disintegrated. Ferdinand Webster, 1869 to 1945. About 74 years old. You can see some of these stones get discolored over time, kind of turn red, which again in a way might be a good thing. It makes them kind of stand out. Very little moss or lichen growth on that one. Lots of Curtis graves through here. Again, a pretty big name here in Frankfurt. And then we walk up this hill. Lots of graves under the trees. Lots of the old classic footstones through here. The old classic names: Gardiner Overlock, Adeline, Gardiner Overlock's wife. It's a very compact cemetery. They don't really waste any space at all. It's all very efficient. You can see the neat headstones in back of them, the footstones. And these are the old school style. Captain Ebenezer Seavey died January 8, 1835, age 71 years, 9 days. So this man was born way before 1800. This is his wife, Lovina, wife of Ebenezer Seavey. She died July 10, 1856, age 88 years. You imagine? Later part of the 1700s. Some of these folks were alive when George Washington was. Very hard to read some of them, but it's very cool to see them too. Some later graves, these gentlemen passed away in the 1970s and 1960s. George Edward Page, World War I. James Page, World War I as well. So we have veterans from the Civil War, and just a few feet away, World War I. So every era of human conflict here. Lots of sea captains buried in these old Penobscot and Waldo County cemeteries. Captain Thomas K. Clark, his wife Lucy M. Banks. There's some of the old artwork on there. This is late 1800s, 1891. Arthur D. Matthews. So just wanted to kind of stop by and visit this old cemetery. Hadn't really been here in a while and wanted to share it with you folks. So hope you enjoyed.